craft sticks, also known as popsicle sticks, sometimes known as ice cream sticks. They are cheap. These came by 100 or something for $1. What can we do with them? Hey everybody, it's me, Margaret, and I've been looking at Pinterest to see if I can find some simple, inexpensive Christmas crafts that we could do. Now I found some. They are adorable, and they can actually be done with children, even large groups of children if you have to teach Sunday school or if you're babysitting a group or something like that. You could use higher quality materials, other than paper or something like that, in order to actually make these sellable crafts for a crafts fair. Like if you're participating in helping Sister Margaret Mary with her Christmas fair, these might be something that you could do using better quality materials. So let's watch and see what I came up with. I saw this cute ornament on a blog that I'll link below, but I made some modifications, and I'm throwing in some tips that you may consider for your own modifications too. So here's a quick view of what you need to get started. Get these wide craft sticks, one that's whole, one that's cut to 5 inches, that's going to be Joseph, one that's cut to 4 inches for Mary, and then when you cut Mary, whatever's left over, that's Jesus. And then you just need some clothes. Now I'm using paper in this instance because I'm going to do a quick one. This is great for Sunday school classes, for children's quick crafts on a rainy day, whatever. I would suggest if you're working with a group of children that you pre-cut these things. Joseph's clothes will be 2 inches by 4 inches, Mary's 2 by 3, and Jesus will be 2 by 1. And put them in separate little piles so everybody can pick what kind of clothes they want their Holy Family to wear. Have it all pre-done. These are their halos, and I just picked the brightest color that I had of some cardstock. Now if you have a punch, a 1-inch punch, that's the way to go. You could really knock them out. But I don't have one. I didn't want to pull out my silhouette, so I used Microsoft Publisher to make some 1-inch exact circles, and then I just cut them out and we'll use the back. But that's what you need for that. Now, if you want to sell these at a craft fair, you could use the same things, but have good material, have a good crafting cotton. Use something that's going to be permanent. For example, you can buy little pieces of wood that have shapes. They have circles. I just don't happen to have any here. That would be the way to go if you're going to try to sell these. The fancier you could make them, the better they'll sell. But we're going to do a fun little kids craft out of them. So now let's put Joseph's outfit on him. I have written Joseph 5 inches long here on the back. Okay. So take his clothes, put the right side down, like that. 2 inches is perfect for wrapping around the stick. Put the right side down on the paper. Now this could be done with any number of glues. I happen to have my hot glue handy, and so that's what I'm going to use here. Of course you wouldn't do this working with children. A simple white school glue would probably be your best. Maybe a glue stick would work. In which case they're probably going to need help, just so one person can hold it down and they can crease it, you know, the whole thing, depending upon the age of the child. Now I'm going to close up Joseph's outfit here. They didn't have zippers back in those days. Now I need to make it stay on his body, so I'll have to apply some glue here. Press it up. I like to put his outfit down to his feet. Okay, so I'm making sure that my paper lined up with the edge of the stick here. Okay, so there's Joseph, he's dressed. Now we repeat for Mary. Okay, here's her outfit, face down, put Mary's face down. Whoops, wrong way. Long ways, of course. We don't want Mary to have on a mini skirt. And then wrap the clothes around her. And this is the same process whether we're talking about fabrics or paper. Use the appropriate glue. And then I slide it down a little bit, put some to hold it on her body, line it up with the bottom edge, and press that glue on there. And now we got to dress little baby Jesus. Okay, his 2 inches go this way. And we put him face down on there and wrap his clothes around him too. We're swaddling baby Jesus. Swaddling clothes. He's got some snazzy swaddling clothes today. Slide it down, put a little glue on the back, and cover his feet. Okay, so there we go. For their eyes, you can use a Sharpie, and you could just go dot, 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 dot. But Sharpies sometimes bleed, and if that bothers you, you could do this. I think if I was using this for a group of children, I would not do paint. But essentially, I'm using, don't use your good darning needle, but that's all I have handy. So I'm going to dot, dot, and that's 2 dots for Mary's eyes. And just keep tapping. Joseph needs some eyes. We're going to keep tapping for him. Ooh, Joseph's eyes are good. Okay, let's see what we can do with baby Jesus. Oh, Jesus's are good. Let's make Mary's big. There, Mary can see a little better now. Now I got to clean off my needle. Okay, we really should let those dry a little bit longer, and if you have kids, maybe do that first. Okay, I want that black part to go on the back. And there's Mary's halo. Now we need a halo for Joseph. And now we need a little halo for little baby Jesus. Border on the back. Okay. Now we need to pile everybody onto the stick like this. Now if you have access to a drill, go ahead and drill a hole in that, and then you could put your ribbon or whatever through to be a hanger for the ornament. If you don't, it's okay. You can use your hot glue gun because this is very light and it should work just fine. I would caution you against trying to poke a hole because it will split the wood. So a drill would be your best bet. I have a hole here, and this is wired ribbon, probably about 8 inches, and the wired ribbon fits through easily, but you can always use a needle threader or something to pull your ribbon through. And now what we're going to do is place everybody at angles. So let's see. I'm going to hold that in place for just a minute. Now Mary, you can see I'm not going to put her down here. I'm going to slide her up just a touch. Let's see, I want her there, so I'm going to glue her to Joseph. Hold it in place. And then Jesus, so he's going to be stuck to Mary. There. Now you can either leave it like that, or you can add a star. Now we could put a star here, a sticker like the blog suggested. I don't happen to have one of those, but I did have this nice little button. It's black, and I was thinking of painting it gold. But I remembered that I had these wooden stars, and I like them. So I think I'm going to paint this gold and stick it on there. And there we are. And you have your cute little Holy Family. This one requires more fine motor skills, so it's not a craft for young children. We'll talk more about this as we go along. Yes, I listed the supplies below, but I need to give credit to this wonderful blog for the idea and instructions, which of course I'll also link below. I pretty much followed it closely, but I'm sharing potential problems and solutions as we go along. So let's begin by cutting 3 wide craft sticks in half, and then we bring the Holy Family to life with some paint. You can lightly pencil in where you want to paint if you think you need to. Acrylic paint works great on craft sticks, which is why it's not a job for a group of preschoolers. However, you can use markers. Permanent markers do tend to bleed a bit more than water-based markers for some reason. And don't forget your angel. This is not very good paint. Let's try some of this. This is a better acrylic paint than the Dollar Tree. Yeah, that's a little better. If you're having trouble with white, you can wrap her with paper as we did with the other ornament. Now I think they must have painted it on because look what Sharpie did. Do you see how it kind of ran? following the wood grain, but we're going to leave it and we're going to pretend they're eyelashes. Ballpoint pen works well for the eyes, but when I wanted to make it darker, my pen fell into another groove in the wood. It can be a little tricky, but you can turn it into a lesson that God knows we're not perfect, but He loves us anyway. Let's add the angel's collar. We wrap it around to get a measurement, cut, and then twist. I bring you tidings of great joy. Okay. Now if you feel it needs it, I suppose you could put a little hot glue back there, right? And then we continue following instructions from the blog. They showed a 7, but they called it a T. What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay, and now we're going to make a little circle to form our halo. That'll poke, so make sure you shove that down on there very flush against the halo. That's about right there. Correct? I think so. They just said cut it off. I'm going to get it just like I like it. Now I'll cut it off. And I think I'm going to put a little hot glue right back there just to keep everything in place. There. Now the staple is easy. You need 3 whole sticks and 2 halves and copy the picture. However, this requires some dexterity and fine motor skills, not to mention hot glue or very strong glue and patience for drying, none of which very young children have. That's why I suggest ages 8 and up. Now they're telling me to put the manger in next, and I'm not ready to do that. I'm going to put the Holy Family in. Now let's put the angel in place. I'm going to turn this over. Put a dot of hot glue back here, and we don't want the angel's feet to show, but that's good right there. Now they said cut 1 inch off of baby Jesus because he is not supposed to be the same size as his parents, so that's about 1 inch right there. I would suggest cutting that off first, because what if it splits? It seems to always split to the right of my scissors. I'm right-handed, so it's split to the right. I imagine it would be the opposite if you were left-handed. See how that split? So do that before you paint. And because I don't think Mary was probably as tall as Joseph, I'm going to trim her too. Not that that makes that much difference, but I just wanted to. Alright, I want Joseph to go about right here, so let me see what that looks like on the back. Okay, I'm just going to mark him there. Mary then needs to go about right here. I'm going to lean Mary in. She's going to be needing to look over Jesus, don't you think? Right there. So let me put them on, and then I'll put Jesus. And then a little baby Jesus. Okay, I like the way that looks right there. For the manger, the instructions tell us to cut 2 thin sticks into thirds, but I found I liked it better cut in half. Put a little dot of glue. Now I wonder if Jesus should have a halo. He doesn't have it in this little thing, but it kind of feels like he should, huh? Or actually everybody should, for that matter. Now the last step, it was not included in the instructions, and that was to put a hanger so you can hang it on the tree. However, you may not want to hang it on the tree. You could put magnets on the back and stick it someplace, or you could put it in a stand, or any number of things. But let's say you do want to hang it. I've got some floral wire here, and because I put some glue back here on my angel, I could just slip the floral wire under. You see how I did that? I made it like a fishing hook and just slipped it underneath like that. And then you can hang it on the tree any way you want to. You could even hang an actual tree hanger on there, string some yarn or some fishing line, which is what Robert suggested on the other one. So there you go. Do what makes you happy. I love that. I think it's adorable. Now I had a good time doing these simple little crafts, and I have a lot of craft sticks left. So I went on a hunt and found a lot more wonderful videos. I've put them in a playlist. It should be about right here somewhere for you to go and see if there's anything there that you might like. And if you're looking for crochet tutorials or anything like that, that'll be in the one up here. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.